Hi guys, welcome back, Calculash Fitness. Now today we're going to be talking about a product that I've had now for 2 months, and I thought it was about time I stuck a review up here, give you guys my recommendations and feedback. It's the Skins Travel and Recovery Tight. So before we go into that, this is the product, the Skins Recovery Legging. Not particularly suitable for run-ins. They are just for sort of recovery and sitting down periods of inactivity, which it says on their website as well, which is fine. One pretty cool element that I like about it is that it actually goes over the foot as well, so it's got a little hole for your heel and a hole for your toes to poke out. So if you did want to wear them with Vibrams or something like that, you absolutely could. They look nice, but they're going to be under your clothing more than likely all the time, so it doesn't particularly matter. So the science. What is the science behind this product? So as per usual, and as per with any marketing campaign, it's all around jargon and throwing out all these buzzwords and jargon, which is aimed just to confuse people. So they're talking about engineered gradient compression for passive recovery. They're talking about muscle focus. They're talking about moisture management, and they're talking about things like UV protection. Why you're going to need UV protection on an aeroplane, I'm not entirely sure, but there you go. And it's pretty obvious that a thick pair of leggings is going to have UV protection, because the sun isn't actually reaching your legs, is it? Your skin. So loads of buzzwords, loads of jargon. Every big company does it. If you're trying to market, sell, advertise a product, you're going to use these big jargon buzzwords to confuse your audience, to confuse the peers, to confuse the people that are actually buying this product. Okay, I work in marketing, I know how it works. It's an effective way of making your product appear more valuable than it is, and planting that seed in the consumer's mind. So I don't focus too much on the science. I'm not a scientist, you're not a scientist. The people, the target market that are buying the product more than likely aren't scientists. My cousin is a PhD qualified doctor in physics. He probably doesn't understand half the stuff that all these companies say. You don't need to understand it, okay? That's why peer-to-peer recommendations and reviews are far more popular than the rubbish that the companies put out there, okay? So there's plenty of science behind it. It's made predominantly to confuse you and make you think that the product is more valuable than it is. But guess what? Let's actually talk about how the product feels and works from someone that's used it, and someone that's, you know, my feedback and thoughts and that sort of thing, rather than trying to delve into the science that I don't understand. All the other reviewers that review these things, they don't understand. The marketers that write all this blurb and bollocks, they don't understand it. So there is science behind it. If you've got a PhD in physics, more than welcome to go and try and check that out. You can then let me know the science behind it, but let's move on to how the actual product works in reality. Okay, so we'll talk about recovery first. So I have a desk job, and I'll sit at my desk for the majority of the day. And sitting at my desk, inactive for that period of time, very sedentary, I do feel my legs aching, especially along my hamstrings, especially the backs of my legs all the way down. Lower back also can ache. It's not a particularly nice feeling, and this happens predominantly after a long run or an intense session on the bike. What I actually felt from wearing these leggings is that feeling of discomfort is actually dissipated, okay, very quickly. So as soon as you put these leggings on, you're going to feel very comfortable, okay? You're going to feel a light compression all over your muscles through your legs. It's very comfortable, it's a very nice feeling, and when you're actually sitting down, it eliminates all of that discomfort that you get from being sedentary for such a long period of time. So very comfortable experience, and that does sort of back up, in my mind, some of the claims that they're making on the science side of things, that about increased blood flow and you know, gradient compression, all the rest of it. Being sat down for long periods of time, I do feel much more comfortable in my chair. I don't have any of those aches and pains. In terms of actually noticeable performance enhancements and quicker recovery, I can't say I've particularly noticed much or anything really. I'd imagine if it is giving me, if it's giving a performance enhancement, it's going to be so minimal that it's not noticeable. Okay, so if you're buying this product and you're thinking that you're going to suddenly recover twice as fast, it's going to be really noticeable, and you're going to do a hard session one day and you're going to be ready for another hard session the next day. That's not the reality. That's not going to happen. Okay, what it is going to do, it's going to make you more comfortable. It is going to increase the blood flow, and it probably will help with marginal gains, but those gains are not going to be noticeable. Okay, what it's going to do is increase your comfort throughout the day, which for me is a big bonus, because I don't like the feeling of being uncomfortable. I don't like the thought of my blood pooling in various muscles and going stagnant. So I do like the fact that they're comfortable, and I do like the fact that I can feel that they are making a difference. So for me, that's worth it. Okay, so for me, recovery, in my opinion, it does help, but it's not going to make a noticeable performance increase for your day-to-day running or cycling or whatever it is that you're interested in doing. Now, in terms of travelling, I've done 2 4-hour flights from UK to Turkey and from Turkey back. Returned just 2 days ago, so it's still fresh in my mind how they worked. For the flight out there, I wore them for the entire day at work. Wore them to the airport, wore them for the entire flight, so from takeoff all the way through the flight to landing. And again, I found them comfortable. However, because I've been wearing them for such a long period of time, I did feel that they were getting a bit hot and sticky. I'm not entirely convinced about their moisture management claims and that sort of thing. I understand moisture management and sweat wicking when you're actually out and about, and the sweat's wicking to the surface, and then sort of the air or the sun is then evaporating it and getting rid of it. But I'm not entirely sure what moisture wicking can do when you're just sat stagnant, and more than likely you're going to be under your trousers or something like that. So maybe it does wick moisture. However, that moisture is going to just sit around and keep you wet anyway. So I didn't feel that they were as comfortable as they are for short periods of time when I'm at work. So what I would advise for travelling is to put them on just before your flight, and maybe take them off just after or when you reach your destination. Okay, but it's not to say they were uncomfortable. I did feel like the compression benefits were there, and for the flight takeoff and landing, I did feel more comfortable, and to be honest, more psychologically as well. It put me at ease that I'm wearing these travel leggings, and I've got that compression there. So I normally just wear compression socks, and it did make me feel more comfortable that I had that compression from foot all the way up to my waist. So it made me feel a lot more comfortable. Now, for the way back, I thought I'd take an experiment, so I didn't wear them for the takeoff. And for the takeoff, as usual, you know, the air's compressing and decompressing as you take off and you land and you fly. Felt very uncomfortable. You can't feel your veins expanding and contracting necessarily, but you know it's happening, and it is a very uncomfortable experience. And I did feel slightly more uncomfortable without the leggings on than I did with them on. So I think that's a benefit. What I then did was try and see how easy they are to put on in a confined space. So I took them out of my bag in the overhead locker, went into the tiny toilet cubicle on the plane, and managed actually to easily get these leggings on within the confined space. So that's another benefit. They're not difficult to put on. Went and sat back down in my seat, and I was immediately more comfortable on the plane wearing these leggings. So again, big bonus. And then obviously on landing, felt much happier. Okay, if we move on now quickly to value, the average RRP for the travel and recovery legging in the UK is about 60 UK pounds. So that's the equivalent, I guess, of around $80 US. You can get them a lot cheaper than that. So I picked up a pair for 40 UK pounds. Again, it's more expensive than I'd usually want to splash out on a pair of leggings or something of that ilk. I normally shop around and get the absolute cheapest price that I can. This was the cheapest price I could find the Skins product. I do, however, think that the Skins product is a very high quality product. I think that with the travel and recovery leggings, it's really the only thing on the market that does this job and does it so well. So for me, £40 is actually pretty damn good value for money. So for me, it gets a thumbs up for value for money. Obviously, value is relative per person. For me, £40 normally for a pair of leggings wouldn't be worth the money, but in this instance, because of the benefits that I derive out of the product, I think it is actually worth the slightly higher price tag. But again, totally up to you guys what your budgets are and how much spare cash you've got laying around at the time. So overall, I would recommend this product. Whether or not it lives up to their scientific claims, that's, you know, to be debated. All these companies like to make their big claims and shout loudly and confuse people with Guardian and blah 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 blah, making all these claims that no one really understands. In reality, it's a good product. It makes you more comfortable if you've had a hard session. It makes me more comfortable at work, sitting down in my chair, which I do not like. It made me more comfortable on the flight. They weren't particularly comfortable wearing them for almost a 24-hour period from walking to work, going to work, getting to the airport, flying, and then travelling to my hotel at the other end. Did become a little bit uncomfortable in that instance, but I was wearing them for almost 24 hours. But I think I'd have been uncomfortable anyway. So for me, it's a very good product. I'm very glad that I purchased the product. I'm going to continue using the product. Whether or not it's going to have any impact on my performance for running, cycling, recovery for triathlon, do not know. I think it's pretty unlikely that it will be noticeable, but I think there will be marginal gains there. But for me, it's just the comfort factor. It's the fact that it is helping my blood flow through my legs when I'm at work, sedentary all the time. It's something that I am concerned about, and I do feel that this product is helping. So for me, I would definitely recommend this product. If you're thinking about buying it, then I'd say go out there, get it, and then let me know in the feedback below what you think. Okay, your thoughts and feedback's always very welcome to me. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't done already. Let's keep this rolling.